Hi everyone, my name is Derek Hopperton. I'm the Field Education Director for the School of Social Work at Cleveland State University. This is our field instructor training. So as you see, I'm the Field Education Director. There's my information below. We have an Assistant Director of Field named Rachel Acevedo, who many of you will be able to work with. We also have a BSW coordinator, and we have an online team that helps with a lot of our student placements that many of you have been in touch with or communication already. So the importance of field education and field instructors. The Council of Social Work Education states that field placement is an integral component and signature pedagogy of social work education. Students must complete a minimum of 420 hours of field placement at the baccalaureate level and a minimum of 900 field hours at the graduate level. Field instructors are a key factor in helping students develop skills and competencies for social work practice. Several studies have shown that a field instructor's performance is a significant factor in a student's placement experience and satisfaction with their placement. So why become a field instructor? To be a part of the development of future social workers, field instructors can be seen as gatekeepers for the future of the social work profession. Also to gain supervisory experience and build skills for supervision. To have an opportunity to give back to the social work profession. Field students also provide an additional support to you and your agency. So, some field instructor responsibilities. Of course, the primary responsibility is to provide students with educational opportunities that will allow them to learn and demonstrate competencies that will have been set by the Council of Social Work Education. Also to assess students for current proficiency in social work skills to aid in deciding which educational opportunities are appropriate, to evaluate students in their meeting of the agency's duties and proficiency in social work competencies, provide students with a supervisory relationship where appropriate feedback and suggestions will be shared to assist in their professional development, and then to assist students in formulating and reviewing learning contracts. Provide guidance in situations students may encounter that have ethical implications, and then to ensure that students are safe during field placements and maintain an atmosphere that is welcoming and inclusive to diversity. Collaborate and correspond with the CSU faculty liaison. That is the person that will be the main contact for our school when our students are in field. They are the student's course professor for their field practicum, so they will be your primary contact. So you will be meeting with them, and then you'll ensure that satisfactory field placement experience is provided for the student along with them. Review and comment on timesheets and complete semester evaluations, which are sent to the exact system for the faculty liaison to review. So I will also be sending out an orientation and tutorials on how to use the exact system. And that is where your students will be completing all their field work, their timesheets, their learning contract. That is where you will also evaluate them. And then meeting with the student and faculty liaison for visits twice a semester. Now they are virtual the majority of the time. Sometimes there still will be in person, but mostly virtual now on Zoom or Teams. And then resolve potential problems or conflict with assistance from the faculty liaison before contacting the field education director or field coordinator. So we are always available for assistance, but I definitely would like for the faculty liaison to be the primary person handling any student issues and working with you at the agency to resolve them. And then more on student safety. In our MSW and our BSW field manuals, you will see we have a student safety section and a lot more information on there, and a safety checklist you could also use at your agency is also in there as well. And then please have a conversation with your student regarding safety specific to your agency, protocols, etc. And then more about EXAT. So EXAT is the web cloud-based system software that we use to evaluate students and organize their field placement data. It's a permanent student record. This is where all their field information is. assists us with the accreditation requirements from the Council of Social Work Education. This software will be used to evaluate students, the timesheets, the learning contracts, the assessment evaluations, etc. So really everything for field is in there. You will have access to that whole system as the field instructor, and then also the faculty liaison will to grade the student. Additional training and support will be provided to CSU to educate, or be provided by CSU to educate you as field instructors. I will be sending this out prior to fall semester starting, and also as well throughout the fall and spring semester. As we hit certain points, I will send out certain information. Step-by-step instructions will be sent out. We have some tutorial videos. We'll send that out as well. And then if additional support is needed, the field placement team and or EXAT staff will help out. You could contact us. If you contact Rachel or I, we can help with most issues. But then if we need additional support, we could contact EXAT and they'll step in. So being a field instructor is a time investment. So 1 to 2 hours of direct supervision per week should be provided to the student. Can be remote, can be in person, depending on how your agency structured the services you're providing and when you and the student plan that interaction out. Field instructors should review, approve, and comment on the student timesheets and learning contracts in a timely manner. So students are going to be doing timesheets every time they complete field for every day. So they will be sending them to you. They will arrive in your email, and then you'll be able to click a link and then review them and just sign off on them. So it's definitely easier if everybody keeps up on everything as the semester's going, so the work doesn't pile up. And then not doing so may impact the student's grade and success in field. The faculty liaisons will be in touch with you and the student if a student does fall behind or if there's any concerns. But if you are having any issues using EXAT, or if your student is, please have them contact one of us so we can step in earlier and help before the issues snowball and then it'll get harder to manage. So field instructors should also spend time and effort planning, providing educational opportunities. So it's definitely up to you and your student to brainstorm for the opportunities at your agency, any other opportunities you could get them involved in, trainings, conferences, whatever you think would be good for them for field, meeting their competencies, totally fine with us. And if you have any questions, if certain things should be approved for field, we're always happy to talk about that as well. And then also be available for students for support and guidance, which we know you would be. So standards of excellence for field instructors. Field instructors should accommodate different styles of learning that best fits their students. So this will take some time for you to get to know your student and what works well for them. So that would be great if you work with them and can adjust with them a little bit. Some students need more support than others. Some students work more independently. So this is something you'll learn the more you work with them. Also collaborate with students and be open to suggestions into creating an excellent and enriching field experience. So you definitely want to have some input on their learning process. So even though the student will be ultimately responsible for creating their learning contract, we definitely want you to provide the suggestions and help them with the opportunities that they'll be able to achieve at your agency. And then also be creative in providing educational opportunities that will be valuable to the professional development of students. So this would be the conferences, the day-long trainings, different opportunities your agency would offer. That would be great for them to take part in. And then provide experiences that will build social work skills as opposed to simply training students how to work at the agency. So keep in mind that some students may find employment at other agencies after graduation. Many of them will stay at your agency and become employed, which is always wonderful. But I would definitely look at it as, what can I provide this student at my agency that would transition well with their education and where they may end up if they end up somewhere else after graduation. And then being honest yet positive about social work as a profession. That's definitely important to have those conversations with students. Field instructors must address concerns they might have with students. So if concerns cannot or should not be resolved between the field instructor and student alone, the faculty liaison would be the person that would meet with you and the student. So I always say to students when they come to me first about handling issues, I let them know they should contact their field instructor at the agency, work with you to resolve it. But then if you both feel like you need another party involved, the faculty liaison will step in and be there to help work with you through the issues or any concerns that are going on. And then employment-based field placement. Students may use their employment for field if their tasks align with the CSWE competency areas. So if there's any questions on that, our placement team, myself, Rachel, we can help to make sure that a placement is eligible for employment-based field. We do this prior to students being placed. So if you're receiving this orientation, it means the student's placement was approved and they are completing it at the agency where they work at, and you are their field instructor. So there are specific guidelines that must be followed for a student to be able to do this. These guidelines are in the MSW and BSW field manuals. So as I said, the student placement for employment-based field must be approved by our department prior to the field experience starting. This can be found in the appendix section. So even in the future, if you have a student this year and then they're thinking about doing field at your agency again next year, they would have to submit this field proposal again even for next year. So it's found in the appendix section of our field manual, or any member of the field team can send it to the student. And then the employment-based field placement, when students are completing their employment-based field, they will complete their learning contracts with their setting. The contract must be focused on specifically what the student is completing for their field practicum. So even if a student is working 40 hours a week and this is their employment and we permitted them to use their field experience or complete their field experience at their place of employment, the learning contract needs to be focused on the 16, 17 hours a week that they are specifically using for field, for their social work field practicum. Students won't be documenting their whole work week. So it would just primarily be around those 16, 17 hours for the master's program or 14 hours a week for the bachelor's program. This is tricky sometimes, and what I usually tell students is, say you are a case manager at your job and you work there 40 hours a week, focus on 16, 17 hours specifically and what you are doing for those 16, 17 hours. Even if it is part of your work, make sure it's like certain cases, certain responsibilities, because the faculty liaison will be asking you like what specifically are you doing for 16, 17 hours a week. So the reason I put this in the field instructor training is so field instructors can really work with their students to really carve out a good 14, 16, 17 hours a week of the student's placement to document specifically for field. But if you have additional questions about that, I'm always happy to talk more about it and problem solve and help the agencies out. And so are the faculty liaisons. So more for resources. We will be sending out many more resources throughout the school year, manuals, dates of field, deadlines, field hour requirements, more training materials, more information for you to have. And then if there are additional questions, you could always contact a member of the field team, because I know this training just kind of scratches the surface of what we will all be doing for the school year. But the manuals are very in-depth and have most of the information you would need, but always feel free to reach out if there's anything else. And then there's my information there, my email, my phone number, Rachel's email and phone number, and we look forward to talking with you. And if there's any other questions, like I said, please reach out. But we truly appreciate you working with our students, and we know it's a time commitment and we couldn't do it without you. So thank you very much.